First time NASCAR is running a temporary street course, and Chicago is hosting.
City Hall is already showing its pride over the announcement the mayor and NASCAR leaders just made this afternoon.
But downtown aldermen say they were never consulted, and neither were business owners and residents that it'll impact.
All right, boys, let's do this. 5, 3, 2, 1.
Maybe you wouldn't believe this, but NASCAR has announced a street race for the first time in its 75-year history, which will take place in Chicago in 2023, since Chicago has been voted to be the second most beautiful city in the world. Unbelievable, right? This would be the first of its type, as it would take place on temporary street courses rather than genuine courses. It will go at speeds close to 180 miles per hour through the downtown lakefront region around Grant Park. According to a news statement from the mayor's office, the route will begin and conclude at Buckingham Fountain and will circle around the important city arteries such as DuSable Lakeshore Drive, Michigan Avenue, Columbus Drive, and other neighboring streets to form a 12-turn, 2.2-mile track. The 2.2-mile circuit will carry vehicles through some of the city's most famous attractions, such as Grant Park, Buckingham Fountain, the Chicago Field Museum, and others. The course was created on the iRacing platform and debuted last year in the NASCAR Pro Invitational Series. When the virtual circuit was introduced, Kennedy stated, "We certainly have everything on the table as we look at future schedules." The news on Tuesday implies that the sim racing feasibility study will soon have a real-life counterpart. The course begins and concludes in Grant Park, with the start-finish line located at Buckingham Fountain. The automobiles will go north and south on Columbus Drive, with a good perspective of the Chicago skyline. When the automobiles race on Lakeshore Drive, they will be visible from Lake Michigan. There will be a corporate hospitality viewing area, which is crucial because many major NASCAR team sponsors, such as McDonald's, have their headquarters in the vicinity. Imagine stock cars whizzing by the towers and high-end businesses that line Michigan Avenue. The scream of the V8 engines resonating through the glass towers as the automobiles cross the Chicago River. It'd be similar to Monaco, but with broader streets and larger and louder race vehicles. That's the type of thing that would generate headlines not only at home, but potentially even overseas. Bringing NASCAR to downtown Chicago isn't even a novel notion. A street race for either F1, IndyCar, or even NASCAR has long been discussed. But considering the tremendous logistical headache that closing the busiest areas of Chicago would be, nothing has ever come out of it. This, on the other hand, appears to have legitimate backing from those who can make it happen. To make a short story, NASCAR, a billion-dollar corporation, has access to market research and data that we mere mortals can only dream of. And NASCAR would not undertake anything unless it was certain it would be financially worthwhile. Chicago's inclusion in 2023 comes at the expense of another date on the Cup Series schedule, as NASCAR will not add any more point races to the already heavy schedule. And on Tuesday, NASCAR revealed that Road America will lose its Cup race to make place for Chicago. The classic Wisconsin road course is one of North America's most recognizable. It has held Cup Series races over the previous 2 seasons and was hailed less than 2 years ago as NASCAR's new July 4th weekend tradition. NASCAR didn't shy away from the positive rhetoric during Road America's debut Cup race in 2021. Which drew enormous numbers. NASCAR staging a race in the heart of the country's third largest city is notable in and of itself, especially if the interest it generates is anything like what NASCAR experienced when it hosted the Clash at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in February. The obvious difference between the race in downtown Chicago and the race at the Coliseum is that the former is on a street course, whereas the latter was on a short track. And a race on a street course is something NASCAR has not done in its modern era, from 1972 to present, and is what the racing will be like. While this is the type of forward-thinking step that NASCAR has made, it does not solve NASCAR's most critical issue. The choice to conduct a race in downtown Chicago confronts NASCAR with a slew of logistical problems, the most of which are with driver and fan safety. Kennedy said that NASCAR had development, competition, and asphalt professionals to inspect the surface, and that when he drove around Grant Park on Tuesday, the roads were in very terrific shape. Neighbors have also voiced worries about the event's noise and traffic, and several downtown aldermen have alleged the mayor's administration has kept them in the dark about any details. Regardless of the racing, this event is intended to bring in new spectators and broaden the NASCAR fan base. Kennedy was a driving force behind NASCAR's decision to create a temporary track inside the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum for the preseason exhibition clash earlier this year. NASCAR does want to reach a new audience with this event, not just in person with walk-up foot traffic, but also through the excitement on television, when people learn that a Cup Series race would be held on a street circuit. A stagnant business is one that isn't inventing or producing, and Kennedy doesn't want that for NASCAR, as seen by several of his recent scheduling proposals. Wallace drove his modified Toyota Camry to various renowned Chicago locales, including Buckingham Fountain, Navy Pier, and Soldier Field, to advertise the event. Walso also discussed the driving problems in a city street race. Make certain there are passing zones, right? Make sure there are enough straightaways to abort if something goes wrong. Corners will be tight, he stated. Kennedy further stated that his choice to quit Road America for Chicago after only 2 seasons was not motivated by money. NASCAR is anticipated to advertise the event, sell tickets, and pocket the promoter part of the race's broadcast money. Since this is the first NASCAR street race, it will probably be the most interesting from NASCAR's history. It's exciting to see NASCAR bring the Cup Series to another large urban region. Following the success of the Busch Clash at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum and its return there next year, adding a points-paying race in Chicago appears to be a significant step forward in extending NASCAR's cultural footprint. That's it for today's video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and like this video if you enjoyed it. See you next time.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say